Oh, let's make us bigger. Hello, hello.
Because I need to see like this
I'm
because
taller. I'm taller.
are you? Yes, you are. What do you have? Like a little stool or something?
I do. I have. I got it in the tool section, like the mechanic section at the Costco, and it's like to fix cars, I think, but it makes me tall.
Yes, this is very important to know. Thank you guys for joining us for today's live cookie decorating. I'm Hani, I'm Hanielas, and I'm here with amazing Marlyn.
Hello,
Montreal.
everybody.
You give away your location so easy. Montreal.
Montreal, but
Yeah.
some people don't know that it's in Canada. That there's a.
Well, the thing is, if you tell someone I'm in Paris, you could as well be in the States, because I think there's
I think
a
there's some
town called
everywhere.
Paris. So,
Some
hello
everywhere.
everyone. Let's just see who is joining us today. Hi, Kathy, Angie, Linda. Hello, Mary Jean. Hi, Carla. Hi, Lee from New Jersey. How did you guys make out with the hurricane? I don't know. I know Florida got hit hard, but hopefully everybody on the call is safe and um, not too much damage. Hello, Heather, Lisa, Melissa, Sharon. Hi, Lynn. Hi,
I like
Monica. Hi, Cynthia. Happy Tuesday.
them up, and I think they like to see their.
Oh, the names. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I just
Just pop them up.
Abby,
It's nice to see
Heather.
who's joining us for everybody else to see it, because
They're coming up too fast. That's great,
yes,
guys. I love
because some
seeing
people
you
watch
already.
on Facebook, some watch on YouTube. Well, welcome everybody. So today I am in the hot seat, and I was trying to think of like what I could share with you guys today.
I have
And
the extinguisher ready, just so you know. I do have it ready. Well, you're in a hot seat. I see the flames.
yes, that's it.
Your brain is on fire.
Thank you, Byron. So the holidays are coming, and I don't know. I don't want to be a doom and gloom, but recently in the news, heard a lot about the recession, and people, things are going to be tight, and et cetera, et cetera. So a couple of things.
Stack up on
Uh,
sugar.
eh?
You stack up on sugar.
Talk up on sugar, but also the topic that I kind of want to talk about is maybe starting a side hustle if you want to maybe start selling if you're not already selling your baked goods. And then maybe instead of buying baked goods, doing it yourself. These are things that maybe you can save a little bit on and still have, your special holidays. Everything is getting more and more expensive. And so if you're a beginner, sometimes it's not easy to know how to start everything. So aside from, the regulations with regards to your right to bake in your house and sell goods and all that, that's different all over the world. You're going to have to look into that in your neck of the woods, cottage laws and all those different type things. I'm not going to be talking about any of that. I'm talking about process. Han's going to add her pearls of wisdom from, she also used to sell her stuff. So we're just going to have a conversation. If you guys want to add to it, we love it when you tell us your things that maybe have worked for you. And you know what I mean? Because this is, the holidays are wonderful, but also stressful. So let's just quickly jump into it. Butter. Melissa's saying, I guess, stock
Yes.
up on butter.
Here, butter, actually, margarine went up, which is
Oh, yeah.
crazy. Margarine is about, like, some of the brands, they're about the price of the butter, which is like when I make the instructional videos, I would use margarine because it was so much cheaper.
Uh-huh.
But now it's about the price of the butter that I would buy, and I don't buy the most expensive. Like,
Yeah.
here you
Me
can buy,
neither.
you can really go overboard. You can buy a $10 butter for 2 cups
Well,
of butter.
Melissa, I'm guessing you're writing in the States because in Canada, a pound of butter, I've seen it for $8.
Yeah.
Now the holidays are coming. Yesterday, actually, at the grocery, they were on sale for 4, which is a crazy sale. I'm planning on going back on with my husband because they have limits. So yes, but so aside from all the price of butter and all this, so first things first, I'm in Canada. It's Thanksgiving this weekend, so pretty much if you were
Oh, is
thinking
it
about
this weekend?
it is, it is. So Thanksgiving is this weekend for us. So if you're planning on making cookies and you're in Canada, maybe do drop cookies don't don't go to, like, the holidays are supposed to be fun, So the next holiday after that is Halloween, and if you're in North America, Halloween is huge. Halloween is a very, very, very big holiday.
Even
To
here, actually, some. I mean, it's maybe not as big as in the states, but this year I discovered a store that they had the Halloween decoration up in August,
Oh
which is
yeah, well, like how big it is here.
yes, it's amazing. I love it. I love it. It's
It's like
great.
crazy busy over here.
Love
So
it.
we're already October 4th. So if you're planning on selling cookies, things to kind of think about when you're planning. So I'm going to go on my list. So first things first, I'm thinking about holidays in general. So one of the things I want to suggest is when you're making supper, depending on what kind of supper you're making, maybe double your batch of your spaghetti sauce, hypothetically, because when you're in it and you're making supper, it's easy to double it up and you can freeze that for when you really won't have time to make supper. So that's just a little suggestion for you guys going forward.
One thing, Donna, I don't use butter ever. If I don't use margarine ever if I'm going to eat the cookies. I also I'm not a fan, but if I'm doing instructional videos, most of the cookies they go to trash. So I find that it's wasteful if I use good
Yeah,
butter for
talking
something that nobody's going to actually eat. So yes, I do agree. Margarine is not my choice of fat when I'm making cookies for people or to give or to eat.
Well, even the vegan butter here I was using for, they off now there's all kinds of vegan butters, and that one also went up to near the price of butter. I guess I don't know, maybe it's the butter, the dairy organization is putting pressure on products so that it's not such a just like difference, because then butter gets kind of people, opt for the other option.
Oh, Lisa uses vacuum sealer and makes double batches. I have
Yes.
used the sealer and it was amazing. I did not. What I loved about the sealer was that it prevented frostbite.
Mhm.
Like sometimes, or like I remember I used the sealer and cookies were like fresh from the oven a year later.
Well, I think she's talking about the thing like I just said with regards to making suppers. I think that's what she's referring. I think so. Not
Okay.
sure. But like the supper thing, it's just because if you have a family, like if it's just you, you're happy eating a bowl of cereal, whatever, it's fine. But if you have kids and a family, you want to make sure that they're eating, well. So that was just a suggestion for that. So the next thing with regards to the impending holidays is to make the decision if you're going to offer collections or do custom orders. So collections means you're going to design, let's say, 5 sets, okay? And you're going to take your pictures, and that's going to be it. You're not going to be taking calls from Louise and Gina and Bob calling and saying, I want Santa like this, I want this, I want that. Maybe you won't even do birthdays during the holidays. You just streamline. I'm doing this, that's it. You know exactly what colors. You can, blindly have, make extra, and people will call the last minute, and that's what's for sale. You're not, oh, now I have to make, a unicorn with a purple hat on. Like that's, you know, not as creative. You don't get to,
Yes, be firm in your decision. These are the designs, and this is what I'm going to do.
exactly.
What
So
it just crossed my mind, like since everything is going up so much, like that, it could also be interesting to offer platters that include both, drop cookie with the decorated cookies, like a combination. So it may be like, oh, we do have decorated cookies. It's very festive and beautiful to look at. But because there are also drop cookies that don't, they're cheaper probably.
if
Or
I
are they cheaper? I mean, if they are really good, right? Good drop cookies are not that
They
cheap.
are very good, but just one thing though, if you are going to do that, put them separate, because the fat on a drop
Yes,
cookie next to a
yes,
decorated cookie, you will damage your icing. So keep them
yes.
separate. Okay, next thing. So does your design with the collection, you're designing one time. With the custom orders, you're designing every order. The collections, you only have a few colors that you kind of establish. The custom, it's infinite. The ordering process, somebody calls and says, I want set number 3. Custom orders, you can be on the phone with some people for an hour. You know,
Oh, yeah,
you guys
and
deal
then
with customers,
designing.
it can be very, very time consuming. So what is it that, what is June writing here?
My biggest issue is narrowing down to a few offerings. I also think and I know somebody had mentioned it in our during the last live, offering, kits,
Yes,
basically, like
that's,
you,
that's, I,
I'm sure you have that there. It just crossed my mind.
yes, absolutely. Here, let's just pop it on. So here, this is a kit. I found this on YouTube. Sweetheart Baking Experiment is her channel, and she has a video how to put together a cookie decorating kit. So this, you're basically preparing everything, but you're not doing the decorating, and you're selling that. You could probably get away with selling it almost the price of your decorated cookies because of the fact that you have to still package it and make it nice and make it and all that. All right, so back to the little chart. Where's my little paper that I had here? Oh, here it is. So now the quick ordering process, I think, is huge. Don't underestimate how much time you're going to spend on the phone or emails with these people. Then standard pricing, quotes for every custom order. So if you got a custom order and then they want a bow and then they want this and then you got to look at the, you establish your collection, the price is that, it's done. And then your supplies. If you're doing your collection, well, you know exactly what you need. Custom, you might end up having to order something last minute. Then maybe you can't get it. Then you have to call them and tell them, oh, I can't get the thing you
Also have a deadline for custom orders. You could also
want.
set up a deadline if you really want to do custom, that maybe you charge more, or you have customers that are expecting you to make some custom cookies for them. Maybe you can set a deadline. Hey, this is a deadline. You can make an order by, I don't know, November 30th. I'm just saying, for Christmas, let's say, and that's done. And after that, these are the options. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So here Angie just did her
Oh,
no
yes.
charges, pre-sold, boom, done. Okay. So I personally think that if in the holidays you are in the business of making money, this is not just a hobby, because if this is your artistic outlet, that's a whole other conversation. But if you are looking at the holidays as a high profit, then focus on streamlining your collection, like your products. If you too much choice is not good either. You know what I mean? People at the end of the day, it's Halloween. What do they want to see? They want to see pumpkins, maybe some ghosts. You don't have to overthink. The acronym KISS. Keep it simple. And then what is it? Keep it simple, stupid, or something. Like you just keep it very. And they come, they make their decision, and boom, it's done.
Keep it simple. I mean, it's hard. Like June was saying, she's a hard time. I also have a hard time, or had a hard time, because if you keep it simple, usually it works out for the better. Because it's like going to the store and buying a scarf, and if you see 50 scarves, you're gonna leave with none. I would leave with none, because I would be like, oh, I like this one, I like this one. Oh, I wish this, so they from
Absolutely.
50, there's none of them is perfect for me. Okay.
Well, then they're sending the message to their husband. Which one should we get? And sometimes in all those exchanges, they even say, "Screw it, I'm not doing it." It's just like,
Because they
you know.
can decide themselves.
So once you've kind of like decided on doing collections, I highly suggest that you, instead of going to the internet to shop for all the things you're going to get for this new collection, how about you go to your cupboard and look at what you have? Look at the sprinkles you bought maybe on sale last year. Look at the cutters you have, and look at seriously using what you have. Everything you buy for this money making thing is cutting into your profit. So, looking forward, if we're going to be smart business people, this is a smart thing to do. Look at your existing inventory of supplies, tools, and try to focus using that. And then if you need extra, then that's absolutely start stocking up, but try to start from that point.
If you
Okay.
want to make, everybody loves the mixes. They're so fancy and just so beautiful, but they're also very pricey.
Oh my
I mean the sprinkles, the very fancy
God. That you
sprinkles.
would put with
So,
this.
so you can also make your own. Like
Yes,
from what you,
absolutely.
from what you already have, or you can go to a bulk store. I'm sure there's a bulk store
Oh
where
my
you
gosh, yes.
and you
Bulk
could
farming
get
in
like
Canada.
you could get some sprinkles and then mix them yourself, and
Oh,
that's
look at
it.
the little containers. See the
Yes,
little
these
containers
little
there?
containers are from ketchup. I think these are ketchup containers.
Yeah, little like salad dressing for
Yes, or
salad.
salad. Yes, or salad dressing. Yes.
Okay, so as soon as you can, once you've established your collection, okay, I'm doing this, I figured it all out, you design that sucker, get your pictures up ASAP because you want to start getting your sales as soon as possible because then you'll have the money when you take the orders. It's not just an order. You want to get paid. They place the order and it's fully paid. There's no canceling later, whatever. The money's in your pocket so that if you then need to go buy the butter, the eggs, all these things, you have money in the bank to do it. Okay. Because you don't want to advance people this like they're gonna order $50-$60 worth of cookies. You want that money in your pocket, so get your prototypes up, photographed, and start placing your orders, especially if you're new to this and you don't have a big clientele already. You need to get your stuff seen so that people will order, right?
What a coincidence! Because if you really want to jump on this and you haven't really been maybe decorating for too long, I today created an guide on my blog for
Coincidentally, we weren't talking.
it was coincidence, yeah, very coincidence, and so it's sorry, it's about the beginners trying to get into the cookie decorating. So my article covers everything that you need to know, and also mentions that when I started 14 years ago, 14 years ago, I used sandwich bags and toothpicks. Okay, I don't think I had a stand mixer then, so I really used
Primitive tools
yeah,
like
what I had. I wasn't waiting, because if you wait for the action to happen till you have everything, nothing will ever happen. Look how all the big companies started. Most of them started from their garages or the basements or things like that. So you need to start with whatever you have, and then once you start making a little money, you can maybe buy more tools and cookie
here.
cutters.
Let's take a moment and pop on our beginner set that we created. So this one, what we thought of for beginners is that you're spending a little bit every month to slowly build your toolbox. And so
And this month we have on the right hand side, when you are looking at the screen, with the 101 cookie cutters. I mean, that's all you need probably for like for the holiday season, because there are cutters that are for Christmas,
everything, yeah.
Easter, for birthdays, animals, hobbies, and etc. How do you,
So
Kathy? How do you get the word out to sell your cookies? Do most people get a following on Facebook and then announce their wow?
so number one, Kathy, the number one thing you need to do is take very nice photos. And when I say very nice photos, I don't necessarily mean you need to hire a professional photographer.
No.
Don't take them in a dimly lit area. Take make sure
Take
that
them, take them during the daytime.
yes,
Right now, I think noon till 3 p.m. it's okay, or even in the later in the morning. By the window, have a diffused, maybe if you have white curtain or
curtains.
white sheet or something like that. So what the diffusion does, it eliminates harsh shadows. So that way you want to have a harsh shadow around your cookies. And I actually like, if you have a good phone,
Yeah,
um,
now
or a
phones.
smartphone, you can really take nice pictures with that. Mostly you want the people to see like your design and your color
With their
visual,
eyes.
with their eyes, yes, because they can taste your cookies, right? When you're looking at the screen. But if you don't have any following on any social media, then I think it would probably be smart to start locally. If you go to church,
Yes.
have start with maybe your communities, and I know it may not be something that you are comfortable with, but everybody is going to start somewhere, because on Facebook it takes a little while. So if you want to do it this holiday season, it may not happen through Facebook. I mean, unless maybe you use some ads or something. But I think you obviously want to post there and on your social media, but I would also um, research, locally, what is it that you can do, or you can. It's October. It's a breast cancer awareness month. If you want, you could have a small bake sale, and during the bake sale, you could
Promote
provide
yourself.
people with to promote yourself for upcoming Thanksgiving, and
That's a good
you could even have Halloween cookies. You don't have, just get
And
big
another
creative.
thing you can do is if you have your own little network, your family on, Facebook now is a networking system that's there for everybody. So if you're on Facebook, I know some people are against Facebook, but if you have your friends and family and they share your photos, well, they have their network and so forth. And that's how, you know what I mean? And so if you tell your daughters and your friends and your this to share your photos, and then the stuff gets seen, and ideally also people comment under there, and you slowly get the word out through friends and family. That's kind of like, when I started, I was bringing it to the school parties because my kids
Okay.
were small, and so the moms were all there, and that's
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
know that
Similar to
was.
with Angie. Angie got the word out at first by bringing samples to places
Yes.
where she worked, or clothing boutiques and things like that. So yes, you can also. I also had done that, actually. I remember I did a lingerie cookies for like a
A store.
fancy store. Um, Very good question. Denise, how long can you leave icing in the fridge before it breaks down, and should you correct the garbage can? Well, actually, you'd be surprised when the icing separates. Even in the fridge, it will separate eventually. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, unless, of course, when you smell it and you can't stand the smell, then toss it. But my royal icing, when I make it with, I
Lemon.
use fresh lemon juice. So fresh lemon juice also works as a natural preservative. But even without it, if you keep your meringue base, because meringue powder is basically dried egg whites, so there's nothing that can really go
They're
wrong with it.
pasteurized. And
So I keep it for a month
yeah,
in the fridge. If it separates in the bag, that can happen. All you have to do is kind of massage the bag a little bit, or if it's in a container, I like to remix it if the separation is bad. Hi, Karen. You started by posting pictures on Facebook. That's great. Yeah. So see, I think it's important to not to lose hope if it doesn't work in one outlet. When one door closes, another two open. So just be kind of positive and
so, often we do have to, like, I don't want you to start giving cookies like crazy to people, but let's say your husband works in a big, like, or you have a friend, like a big work office type thing. You could do your practice cookies and then send them there, and they can put them in the office or the lounge area, the coffee
let's
room.
remember the holidays. They do make gifts for employees, right? Uh,
Yes.
the businesses. So maybe that's something, or they have holiday parties. You could just sometimes you really have to be get some, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Really have to be maybe even courageous. Like, don't be afraid. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you think,
Put
are you
yourself
having a
out.
party? Put yourself out there. You might get shut down, yes, of course, but um, just grow some tough skin and just,
Yeah.
go to another place, and
Anybody that's
maybe five places will say no thanks, but then one place will say yes, and then people at the party will love your cookies, and there, boom, you've got yourself you know.
And sometimes, the big mistake I think people make too is trying to undercut the competition. So you have somebody that's selling stuff for, let's say, $50. You say, well, I'm going to sell it for 40 to basically like, and the thing is, it's not long. Yeah, maybe you will get the orders, but you're going to burn yourself out because, and you're going to not really make any money. You know what I mean? So think twice about that kind of technique. Okay.
So
So
this is a good data. So I do think that back in the day when we were starting, realizing was I from what I remember, realizing was like, oh, like it can taste good or anything. But I think that cookies and realizing both are kind of like backbone of the cookie decorating, because if they don't taste good separately, why would you want to put something that doesn't taste good on something that tastes good? So it both separately, they are both have to taste good. So I mean, I'm not saying that you're gonna eat the royal icing with like ice cream, but unless you make strawberry royal icing, because that's really good with fresh bread. But yes, I agree, they also have to taste good. So you could also have samples. You could have small samples for people
yes.
if they never maybe had decorated cookies, and then they can taste them and they'll be amazed at how tasty they are.
I do a 1/4 inch, Sandy. What about you, Han?
I do. I used to do thicker, but now I do 1/4 inch. Yes, I do 1/4 inch.
So, Kathy, we're going to talk a little bit, and maybe it'll help. So, moving on to my next on my list here. Okay, so with regards to taking your orders, now you've made your collections and you're taking your orders. So, if possible, stagger your delivery date, if possible, because if you want to be able to make more, right? You've only got 2 hands. So if you can stagger your delivery dates, sometimes you can take more orders because you'll have time to make them, right? Next, order your supplies like your boxes, bags, ribbons, whatever you're going to need to package, because you're going to need to package this. You can't just hand them to them, these decorated cookies that you're charging whatever for, in a brown paper bag and say, here, you go.
Do you guys like certain packaging? Like I love these boxes. You
Yes,
see,
again,
I love these
windows are
boxes.
so important because even if like that is a kit of like not decorated cookies, it's like if you're bringing that to an event or something, that window, it makes it special. It's like, oh wow, they get,
Yes,
it's like
it's
right
very
away
important
actually.
because everybody, yes, everybody likes that, and they do come. Do you have any bakery? What are they called? The bakery boxes I used to get. Um, Never mind, I can't think of the name.
The
Anyway,
ones with the handle there.
they're also with the head, but no. I mean like these with a window.
Yeah. Oh, the BRP,
Yes,
the
those,
the
yes. Or then
box.
I think the Nashville wraps, they also have different boxes, but they may be more expensive. I don't know now. They have different styles, I think, depending on what you're looking for. If you have a high-end clientele, maybe you want to really, present these in beautiful, beautiful packaging, because people will pay actually for, yes, BRP, curious Halloween boxes. So the people will pay for nice packaging. If it's a gift for someone, they
Mhm.
want it to look nice. So also
So
maybe offer that. Maybe offer maybe have like
gift packaging.
gift packaging, like tell them that it's going to be special.
A little extra. The
Like
there are things. So Christmas is coming, and you want to take, let's say, depending on your speed and skill level, you kind of want to establish how many cookie orders you want to take, and then if you do stagger, well, then you'll be able to kind of figure out slowly how many you can actually make. But there are things you can do in advance. So I have some videos here. I'm just going to pop on. So one of the videos I've shown this before. So this is to make your bows. So if you want to add bows, and this you should charge extra because you can just put your cookies in a bag and you can just put them in a bag and heat seal it. But this is you could charge extra for the bows. So this is those steel, like there's a wire in there. It's a twist
what is
tie, I think.
it? Twist tie, I think. Yes.
So you can see here, I'm folding them in half, okay? And then you get your ribbon, and you can buy a ribbon at Michael's. Michael's sells their ribbon, I find quite expensive, but you could probably find more affordable ribbon at online or something.
You also get cheap ribbons, the ones that they're like plastic. What are they
Yes,
called? The
yes, raffia kind of ribbon.
Yes, KS, that kind that you can make like.
But you can get the satin that's not too bad. If you shop around, you can get a decent price. And if you get it the year before, like now, red ribbon for Christmas, you can buy it at the end of Christmas and use it for Valentine's Day. So you can plan ahead, you know?
Curling. Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, that's it. So here I'm making the ribbon. You can see I'm forming it like those ribbons for awareness, you know? And then I'm grabbing that loop in the back and I'm holding it with one hand, and then I'm securing that twist tie to hold the ribbon together. I pull that bow towards the front and I give it a twist to hold the bow in like position, and then I can throw that in a bag and have them all ready to go to just twist onto like an actual cookie. So you're gonna see me here. I just pop my
When
on
you
this.
make more of these, do you make one prototype and then do you measure? How do you measure? If you have to make 100,
Yes.
do you
This,
measure the same
yeah.
length of the ribbon and
Yeah.
then then you do it. So this
So
is
you
something that actually men in the family. I mean, I know my man wouldn't do it because of the how your fingers
have
have to.
dexterity.
But maybe kids could also help.
Kids,
You
but
have, like instead of eating chips when watching a movie, you can have, and you could have like a little competition who makes more. I don't know,
yes,
just
or if you don't have kids, you could have a night where you have your friends in and maybe just,
oh
call a
yeah, that's
pizza
true.
and
Bring
have a
your friends
girls'
over.
where everybody's helping. And so here June's getting her bows already made, and then she just kind of, I guess, puts them together. And then here she gets them already made also, Andrea. So that's perfect then. Like you can, but if you want to make them yourself, you can start now. I've been written by like a few people that like that video and they make their bows themselves. So that's one of the things you can do in advance. Other things you can do is if you make stickers or buy stickers with your contact information,
Also, yes.
you want to stick that to the back of your cello bags so that
Maybe also eat some of the ingredients, like if you I don't mean a recipe, but I mean like sugar, flour, butter, or
I
something.
think I think that depends on your area where you are because when it's
Oh, you mean the regulations? Yes, yes.
you don't always have to put the ingredients and it's I think like you need to inquire in your area, but the thing you want to have is at least your phone number so that they can find you, because if they taste that cookie and they like it and they want to order.
I meant for people, not so much for regulation. I meant yes, for regulation if you have to, yes. But I meant also for people because sometimes people like it's nice to know what's in it.
I guess. But if you're going to a party and they're serving desserts, like usually you're not seeing the ingredients on,
Oh,
the
very fancy! I just bought a thermal printer so I can print my own logo stickers.
yeah, that's perfect. And so if you want to stick your stickers on your cello bags before the holiday rush, you can hire your kids, that free labor you made, sit them down and have. When I was a kid, my dad would have us, he was a bricklayer anyway, and we would hammer a nail through this strip of steel that would secure the bricks on, and he would give us 1 penny for every thing. And you'd say, oh, just a penny, but all our friends were over. Everybody things, so you can hire your little munchkins to help. What is this here? Yes. The thing is with anyway, here the ribbons, that coupon, it's for one item often, so it doesn't go very far. But yes, the ribbons go on sale quickly at Michael's. They are, but I find that there's not a lot of ribbon on usually their rolls. All right, next thing here that I have. So you can make your ribbons, stick your labels, get your bags ready, get all that ready. Next thing that you can make in advance are royal icing transfers. So if
Yeah.
you've created your collection and you know what you're doing, well, you can make little, all your little decorations, your little flowers, your eyeballs, whatever you want to make in advance, you can get all that done,
You could
right?
also offer gingerbread house kit or something like that. Yeah, in your area.
Like it's a different version of that photo that I showed. If you're doing a gingerbread house kit, it would
Yeah,
essentially be
maybe.
this.
I mean, probably on a smaller size because it like if you make a classic standard size, it can get expensive, you know?
Well, like this one, the Halloween one I did, but you do a
Yeah,
Christmas,
yes.
or it's still time to do the Halloween one. You could make, if you guys watch the live stream, I don't know, it was maybe 3 times ago, three Tuesdays ago, you'll see there's a transfer sheet in my two groups. And then was it last Tuesday you did this?
Yes, last Tuesday. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
This is for Thanksgiving. It's meant for Thanksgiving for table setting. So that's from that. That's also something you could offer more personalized cookies. I've done that in the past for Christmas and Thanksgiving, where I would put initials on the cookies. And when you're using a cutter to do that, it cuts your time. You know, if you don't have a projector to make beautiful lettering, by beautiful lettering on your cookies, it's a bit tricky to do that. Maybe you can use a marker or something like that as well. Um,
So next is another big profit thing that I've over the years people have told me that they make a lot of money is the painted cookies. So you can make your paint palette. So this is here. This version is with a tongue depressor, and you pipe with, let's say you're working and you have leftover icing, you just pipe some dots on it, and then you can airbrush them and then package them with a little paintbrush, and then you can just put them to the side, and then you over the course of the year you make some, and then you can just include them with your holiday cookies. Now this is more kind of rustic because the airbrush is around, but this is the more kind of polished version. What is this thing? Okay. So here, this is a cardstock version, and that template is available. I think I might have put it in my bio link there, the Stan store, or it's in my groups. And you can cut this with your Silhouette machine or your Cricut, and you can see here it's cardstock, and you pipe your dots, and then you can open it up and you can airbrush your colors, and it gets like there's overspray, but once you close it up again, you won't see that kind of overspray that looks a little bit messy. You'll see in a second when I close it up how it looks so much more polished. So you see, I just actually use icing. I opted to not use glue because I figured it might not be food safe. So I just added icing to glue it closed. And then there's a little area you can see there to pop the paintbrush in, and then you can attach that to your cookies. And here's a Santa version for the painted cookies. So you can make a Santa, I mean, anything. This is with a stencil, so you can see here come together. Maybe you don't have all the gear. I'll show you with a butterfly how you can pipe a painted cookie. So here, this is a stencil cutter set that I got. I don't have the link up for you guys, but there's so many people selling these now. I actually saw the cookies that you color with markers at Costco yesterday. I couldn't believe it. There's now you can buy 10 cookies with 6 markers at Costco. So that's that version. And then here's just you're using black and white icing. So you create sections and then they can color them. So that's like a butterfly version of the concept. And so you can just work in wet on wet icing. Ideally, you don't have any lines, because if they're coloring with markers, especially, they'll break the icing off if they're using markers and the lines are up, you know. Oh, there. Okay, so thank you, Angie. All right, so Han, you had your classes. Do you have any pictures to show them what they'll be making?
yes, guys. So I had a class coming up beginning of November where you guys can learn how to make these succulents. Um, these also will look great. I know it's not gonna, you think not, but these will also look great on your Christmas cookies.
Well, I imagine a wreath actually, a Christmas.
Yes, Christmas wreath. I mean, it will be so beautiful. So you can, and I've made different cookies using these transfers. Once you have the succulents made, I mean, it takes really no time to decorate with them. Okay, so that's the first class, and I also have two more classes. One is for complete beginners. This is a really fun class. If you haven't done any decorating, I invite you to join this class because we'll be using a really fun wet on wet decorating technique, creating marble designs, which is really popular around the holidays, and
So
it's
Han,
also
can I
fun.
can I just interrupt? Put them again. Put them again. So those, you see, she's working in blue and red, but if you were to do those in white and black, and you could actually gift wrap those with markers, right? And then your recipients could color them in.
Yes, that would be, yes, that's such a nice idea. Yes. And also,
Show the other picture you have of them. That other picture's nice.
oh, here it goes. Yeah, sorry. Yes, so this is more of a, you can clearly see these ornaments. Um, so these are really popular. This marbling, it's so popular during the holidays. You can do
And
this
it's so fun to make, though.
on Christmas trees, and it's really, really fun because you see the results right away within
Yeah.
seconds.
And you
So
don't have to wait, like so many techniques. Oh, well, you have to wait for crusting and then go to the next step. This is
exactly.
like boom, it's done.
You could also imagine you could make transfers that are like little ornaments made with this technique, and then you can just pop them on your cookie, and boom, that's done. You know. I also have another class where we will make pipe poinsettia flowers, and we're going to decorate cute penguin cookies like this. Now, this is a design that is so versatile because you can swap out the poinsettias and you could add something else. Um,
Or nothing.
or nothing, yes, something else or nothing.
Those, do you have your calendar up somewhere of when all these classes are?
So I do have, these are the dates. I also put in the comments the link to the classes where you guys can see all the dates.
Yeah.
Yes, Buster, indeed. So my succulent class is coming up on November 5th. Okay. And then the ornaments are December 10th and penguins are December 9th. So it's a Friday, it's Friday or Saturday.
This
And
is all online. So if you
these,
guys
are,
attend,
these classes are all online, but they are live classes. So I will be there. It's not pre-recorded. So you can ask me questions and we can have a little chat or, connect that way also.
but if they miss it, I think they can watch the
If
pre.
you miss it, it's going to be recorded if you miss it. So you can then join the class, but I won't be there
Yeah.
physically myself.
All right. So guys, check that out. And I'm almost done. I didn't realize I was going to go on so long about this, but the thing is once you guys, if all this information you're getting today, you can digest it and potentially make some money this year. So hopefully this will be helpful for you. So, my last here, we talked about number 8, making your ribbons and labels, blah, 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 getting your supplies ready, so that once your cookies are made, you can just kind of slip them in the bags. Next, is since you have all your money from your pre-sold, like your pre-sale, then you're going to be able to kind of buy your ingredients and you could potentially start baking and freezing your cookies. So if you want to opt to freeze your cookies, ideally you do it when they're not decorated, simply because you can freeze more of them and be a little more careless with them. So if they're not decorated and you haven't put, all your heart and soul into the decorating, well, you can stack them up and freeze them and get them kind of in the freezer. And then when you want to actually decorate, well, you just lay them on the tray and they thaw out like in no time and you can get decorating. Because the rolling and the baking, people talk about the cookie decorating
It
a
takes
long
a long time, yes, rolling and baking. I know a lot of people, they roll out their dough and they also put it in the freezer. The only thing when I do that, the dough has to be wrapped well. I find that around the edges, it
I
tends to
agree.
dry out a little bit. Even if I put it in the fridge, I put it in the fridge and I'm like, oh, I forgot, it's been 2 days. So I come and it's literally like it's chipping off.
Hmm.
So you want to be careful when you do that. I freeze my like cookies for decorating, or I did in the past for up to 3, 4 months. Um, when I didn't have like fancy containers, I would line my containers with food wrap. So and then I would put the cookies in there, and then I would close. It would be long enough, the food wrap, that I would probably layer 2 sheets. Let's say I would close it, so we would create another layer of protection. So they would still, like sometimes when you put cookies into the freezer, they can absorb um, smells and stuff, so or they can just get drier, so this way it was another level of protection there, so I was able to freeze cookies with no problem. I mean, if you have fancy containers, yes, you can use those also. Do you
Yeah.
have?
When they're not decorated, I don't think you have to worry about butter bleed or any kind of
No.
that.
If you are like really concerned, you can, but if you're concerned that they're gonna stick, that's like it can happen sometimes if your cookies are a little underbaked. Um,
But you can cut, like, you don't need the whole
you,
size. You
you
can just
can cut small, yes, you can cut small part pieces of wax paper, sorry.
and
Um,
layer that in between.
yes, and layer that in between, exactly. Or you
Oh,
could also, if it's easier, depending on the freezer type you have, you may have a chest freezer, which is, you can put a
a
big,
lot.
a lot there. But if you have a tiny freezer that, you have to really work with the space, you could also,
Stand them up.
yeah, stand them up that and put them in that way. You can, just shove them into your freezer that way.
So that's the thing too with the royal icing transfers. They don't need to be refrigerated or put in the freezer. They can just go on your counter. So
Yes.
they're not going to take up
And
that valuable space.
also, I wanted to touch up. I just crossed my mind. Coloring. Okay, so for Christmas we have red, we have green. You might have some black that you're gonna need. If you're doing something for Halloween, purple, orange, all these colors are, sometimes difficult to get the most potential out of them. So make them ahead of time, like if you're
Also,
making purple, make them several days ahead. And believe me, it does work, and they do deepen over time. So, and red, everybody, like Christmas, usually red is like a color that everybody uses. So make it ahead. And after Christmas, if you have leftover, freeze it and use it for Valentine's Day.
absolutely, yes.
So,
So I'm almost done, Han. So
yes.
for the number 10 now, we're already at number 10, is with regards to your cutoff date. So don't forget about yourself in all this. So
Yes.
Christmas is very stressful. If you're trying to, on top of, make this a little bit, of money or whatever you're doing the cookies for, and then you want to also take care of yourself and enjoy the holidays and also, spend time with your family and all that. Establish a cutoff date and basically just, send your messages to voicemail. And forget about taking messages from people that are begging, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Just don't even answer and just maintain your sanity. You deserve to enjoy the holidays as well. And you're going to have time to clean up the mess from all this cookie business. You're going to be able to transition to the holidays and actually enjoy the holidays yourself. And my last little pearls of wisdom that I have for you guys is, as women, we don't do this enough. Han will, I know already Han doesn't do it enough. Ask for help. If you are, you know, married, if you're not, you're single, you have friends, you have your mother, your daughter, your son, your ask for help. They maybe can't decorate cookies for you, but they can do the dishes for you. They
Or
can,
roll out the dough, or maybe make the dough. You can show them how to make the dough.
yes,
They
and
can
that's
they can also massage your back.
yes. But I find that we're so fast to think, oh, I don't want to disturb. I don't want to disturb. I don't want to, and the thing is let them say no if they can't, but
But
make an attempt. Make an
honestly,
attempt to ask for
people
help.
are looking for connection these days.
Yeah.
It's more important than ever. And I've just read an article how in stressful situations, um, what works the best is that we rely on our friends. So I don't mean you to, take advantage of your friends, obviously, but you could, it could lead to a good conversation. You could, while that's happening, you could have a glass of wine. Um, and if somebody can help you make, I don't know, 10 batches of dough, cookie dough, that's great, I think.
I think that another thing that'll happen is if you ask for help and they get a little glimpse of your reality, it also gives people a better understanding of maybe why you're tired or why you're cranky, or just
Yeah.
to understand you more. And often if we don't understand each other, well, that's when there's a breakdown in a relationship, right? If the people get to know why you're so crazy during the holidays, like, like what about cookies makes you so crazy? So maybe if they come and help you package your cookies for all your pre-orders, like just that packet. So the cookies are all decorating, and now you have to decorate it, and you have to bag and box all those pre-orders. That is a crazy amount of work. So,
Yeah. I
ask.
think packaging is underestimated a lot of times. We underestimate how long.
Say that.
We should do the bloopers video.
Yes.
I'd be the star.
So that's it, guys. I hope some of that was useful. I mean, we want you to succeed. And if you're hesitating about the cookies, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be any good at it. I'm not good at decorating. Well, these kits here, if you're good at baking and you can put stuff together, you can certainly sell these. People are all about now experiencing and all that, but they don't want to do the heavy lifting. So you create these little bundles, and then they're like, "Oh, I made cookies. I decorated cookies."
You could put a, you could put a 5 pound weight in it so they know what I'm lifting.
Yeah, that's it. Well, glad you guys enjoyed it. So that's it. So start thinking, maybe if you're wanting to make a little extra money, maybe to pay for those Christmas gifts. And cookies are gifts too. If you want to bake cookies for your Christmas gifts, don't worry about adding something extra. Oh, it's just the cookies. You don't have to go shopping after. That's a lot of heartfelt effort in a decorated cookie. Those
These
are gifts.
these do-it-yourself kits are fantastic. Yes,
She sells a lot, she's saying here,
because you
Beth.
can do you can market it as for kids parties, office parties. People like to do these things, like they do because it's like you want to feel that you created something, and at the end of the day, when somebody makes decorated cookie, they feel accomplished and makes you feel good. It's that warm feeling, like how you know.
Well,
Oh,
the thing is when you're decorating, it's also a nice activity. Sometimes, you're having your family gatherings and there's a bit of a lull. It's like, okay, what do we, if you have maybe new people in the loop, and you're like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Have some cookie decorating. It's like then they're busy and it's less awkward. Don't you think?
yes, if it was that easy to get men decorate, it's always like it's almost like they're offended, like it's not my type of coffee, like coffee,
Cup of coffee.
cup of coffee. But I think men sometimes do better than anyone. Like
Yes, they're handy.
they are handy. They do really well.
So
Well,
thanks everybody for joining us. If you're just coming now, you can watch the replay. There's lots of great information today. Thanks so much for joining us. Check out Hans' classes. Check out our cookie decorating kit. And we're both on Patreon if you guys want to support our work. Thanks so much for being here. See you I'm on Friday if you guys want to come and decorate cookies with me on Friday.
okay, bye.
Bye, guys.